With us all till 7:55 a.m. or thereabouts as we take you around the ever-exciting and sometimes controversial world of sports. To do this with me in the studio this morning, I've got Fermi Adewega. Good morning to you and welcome to the midweek edition of SportsBang.
Yeah, good morning to you, to a wonderful listener. Always good to be back again to talk sport. I mean, last 24 hours has been really amazing in the world of sport, like you rightly said. And of course, NBA always continues to get our attention. Looks like the Warriors are actually doing something fantastic for themselves at this point in time. I'm still talking about basketball. I don't know where we are actually going with the Nigerian Basketball Federation.
I knew that, right?
It's getting really worse at this point in time. Looks like, it's a power tussle right there. And, this will not actually end well for the athletes eventually if it continues this way.
It seems it seems rather that we are never going to really leave this circle, because we've been in and around this circle for the last 5 or 6 years or thereabouts, whereby there's always been a tussle for who is the president of the NBBF, that's Nigerian Basketball Federation in Nigeria. And just when we thought we are actually about to see the light at the end of the tunnel, because we were expecting the election of a new board
just
on Saturday, but albeit on Monday, the Sport Ministry released a statement that particular election has been postponed indefinitely. No thanks to the recent brouhaha that's engulfed the NBBF board. And of course, the treatment of athletes, most notably rather the D-Tigress. But alas, the current NBF president, that's Musa Amadou Kide rather, has actually decided to snub, the former president rather, has decided to snub that particular statement released by the Sport Ministry. And he has insisted that the elective congress of the NBBF was to go ahead later on Saturday, October 30, despite the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development suspending that particular election. And of course, remember that statement rather was released early on Monday. But
I mean, I think, it should actually have a rethink about that, because whether we like it or not, as long we're still in Nigeria to some extent, our government will always interfere. And that is what we've actually seen over the years. I mean, according to him, he said that postponement was actually legal, considering their own status, talking about NBBF in that one. But I want to say the reason why it is actually postponed in the first place is because there was rank on ground. It's because there was actually trouble in that particular camp. And if felt, talking about the sport ministry now, that okay, the only way to actually sort this out, if that election eventually goes through, maybe something disastrous might actually happen. Let's settle in house first before we actually go for that election. Probably, which is actually sensible. I'm just thinking for the sports ministry now at this point in time, and you coming out to say that okay, no, you don't want to agree to that, means that you have something up your sleeve that you want to actually do on the 30th of September. Of October. It's so sad that they don't want to actually relinquish power for each other. They don't want to make sure things work out. They only care about themselves, about their own personal interests, not the way forward for the federation as a whole. And as long as this continues, trust me, AY, I don't think we will have a very, very well organized and well administered federation in Nigeria when it comes to basketball.
Even talk about the development of the game, right?
We can't have it. We can't have it. Remember we had the basketball league this season, but the Super 8 was suspended because of this rancor that is happening in this particular federation, and we don't know when that will happen. It might never happen with what is happening at this point in time, because trust me, sport ministry will not agree to this. They would make sure, they will tell them that hey, we still supersede whatever happens in sports in Nigeria, and we are still the boss here. So this is a bad and a very, very terrible omen for for Nigerian sports as a whole, because if you look at it as a whole now, which federation is really doing well, probably aside from wrestling. So
let's even stick with basketball now for a minute. You realize the fact that okay, I understand, yes, there has been this tussle for quite a long time now, and the development of the game in the country has been subjected to a bit of stability, that's even if it's not nosediving within that time spell. But now sport ministry, maybe you can't particularly exonerate them of a whole lot of blame in times past, but I think this one they're actually doing boldly and a bit right. Definitely means we could still be here by this time next year, and of course there's still no NBBF board.
We could remember what happened. Was it 2017 or 2018 when there was this power tussle as well? When the other faction took Musa Kida to court, and we had a suspended league until now that he actually came back. Now, if this happens again, are we seeing something of such again coming up? I think it will happen if they do not find a common ground to settle this as quick as possible. The sport will not develop. The athletes will be left, idle, doing nothing, and you expect us to still depend all our powers on the NBA players when we get competitive competitions. I mean, it doesn't work that way. You don't expect things like this to be happening in a federation and you expect us to move forward. We can't move forward. It's just a perfect truth.
We are just hoping that things really get resolved as soon as possible, at least for the sake of the sport, indeed, right here in Nigeria. But talking about basketball away from Nigeria, but ultimately right there from the United States of America, where we had NBA games played in the wee hours of this morning. LeBron James sat out as the Los Angeles Lakers were able to record a 125 to 121 point overtime victory over San Antonio Spurs because of a sore right ankle. Lakers coach Frank Vogel, when asked about James' injury before the game, said that the team is taking a marathon approach with him, and of course that was why he had to sit out that particular game. Malik Monk started in LeBron James' place and had 17 points. Rajon Rondo also had 8 points, 3 assists and 2 rebounds in his return to rotation. Meanwhile, Lakers in fact got another scare about an injury, possible one right there. So Anthony Davis, who went down with a right ankle injury late in the fourth quarter after a collision with San Antonio's DeJounte Murray in that one. But up next for Lakers later tonight will be a game against Oklahoma City Thunders. We wait to see whether Anthony Davis and LeBron James will play a part in that one. Elsewhere, Denver Nuggets center and reigning NBA MVP Nikola Jokic actually suffered a right knee contusion late in the second quarter earlier this morning and was held out of the remainder of the 122 to 110 point loss for his team against Utah Jazz. Elsewhere, Golden State Warriors having a dream start to the season, defeating Oklahoma City Thunder by 106 to 98 points. Elsewhere, New York Knicks also got the better of Philadelphia 76ers 112 to 99 points. And like I said earlier, Utah Jazz defeated Denver Nuggets 122 to 110 points. And lastly, Dallas Mavericks also defeated Houston Rockets 116 to 106 points. We'll quickly go on this break, and when we return, we'll actually talk a little bit about tennis, talk a little bit as well about athletics before we dive straight to the very exciting world of sports with so many juicy results coming in from Europe last night.
Today is a good day. A good day to take a walk. A good day to reach for your goals. A good day to finish reading that book. A good day to connect with your friends while doing the things you love. A good day to shoot your shot. A good day to enjoy life to the fullest with Malta Guinness.
Malta Guinness. Enjoy a world of good.
ọ̀rẹ́ mi jọ ǹjẹ́ mo lè yáge oúnjẹ òní àjẹkẹ́jẹ́lẹ̀ kíní kan ṣe yùngbà nínú oúnjẹ yìí.
kò rí ìsóúnjẹ tuntun látọwọ́ ọ̀ǹgà ni.
ṣé pé ọ̀ǹgà náà ti ní kọrí.
àkànṣe ni láti inú èròjà ìṣẹ̀dálẹ̀ èmi ò rò pé mo lè ṣe nǹkan kan mọ́ láì lo ìsóúnjẹ kọrí ti ọ̀.
ẹ ṣáà lè fún wa lóúnjẹ díẹ̀ sí i ṣá.
ọ̀ǹgà mama's helping hand.
Remember the name, Arena's Plus. When malaria strikes, Arena's Plus. Remember the name, Arena's Plus. When you feeling down, Arena's Plus. I say remember the name, Arena's Plus. When you feeling down, Arenax Plus.
Arenax Plus is the name to remember when you need to beat malaria with ease. Arenax Plus is a combination of artemether and lumefantrine and is effective in the treatment of malaria in adults and children. So the next time malaria strikes, remember the name. Arenax Plus. Arenax Plus beats malaria with ease.
If symptoms persist after 3 days, please see a doctor.
Available in pharmacies near you. Arenax Plus is a quality product from Swiffer.
Guys, next we have the Dapper Ebuka Obi Uchendu here on the red carpet. How do you do it? You're a lawyer, TV host, fashion icon, and you deliver every time.
Well, truth be told, juggling all these roles, is you.
But you pull it off each time looking your absolute best.
Well, that's because looking my best goes beyond the clothes I wear. It's also about having clean, healthy skin. And thanks to Too Sure antibacterial soap, when it's time for action, I bring my A game because to be the spec, you've got to be Too Sure.
Very well said.
Be the spec with new Too Sure antibacterial soap that kills 99.9% of germs and contains glycerin. Available in Too Sure Original, Cool with Menthol, and Herbal Moisture Plus with eucalyptus oil. Get yours today. Be the spec. Be Too Sure.
In my family, we all love fresh. Grandpa, don't you?
Yes, of course.
And me too.
And me 3. So nourishing.
Everyone loves the natural tasting Peak yogurt because it is made from fresh cow milk, which has protein to build your muscles and calcium for strong bones. It also has nutrients like potassium, phosphorus, and vitamin B2, which are good for your body so that you can bring freshness to everything you do.
Guys, don't leave me out.
Okay, let's go again. I love Peak yogurt.
Me too.
Me 3.
Me too.
Go for you, must go reach my peak.
Peak, reach for your peak.
Oga, don't finish your tire.
Kasali, I don't have cash with me. Let me give you hope.
Hope, okay.
Kasali, be coming down.
Oga, I don't land you. If like say you open account for me. Hey.
Darling, did you just open the Hope wallet for your vulcanizer?
Yes, that's how I pay all the workers at our building sites. I pay them with their phone numbers so they can start transacting immediately. They don't even need an ATM or check.
You can create a Hope Wallet account for any beneficiary from anywhere by transferring money to recipient phone number or simply dial *569*9#.
Darling, please let me stop over at that boutique. You don't have to come in. Don't worry, I will just impute your phone number.
Hope, succeed. Hope Bank always.
Anytime you feel cold and hot out, take Procold. Procold now better melody. Take Procold for effective relief from cold and hot everywhere you go. Take Procold.
Make no wakamis road. Procold get paracetamol and phenylephrine for effective relief from cold and catarrh within 20 minutes. Now, Orange Drugs Limited distributor. If symptoms never stop after 3 days, make you waka go see your doctor. Procold, now better medicine.
Procold, take Procold, take Procold, Procold, take Procold.
Bó ni o, ọ̀gá kẹ́míìsì, ẹ fún mi ní M&B paracetamol.
Only?
Èyí ṣe pupa. Pálí M&B paracetamol ní òǹtẹ̀ gàràgbà lára tí wọ́n kọ 70 ọdún sí. Èyí ló jẹ́ kí M&B paracetamol jẹ́ ojúlówó oògùn tí dojú ìjà kọ ẹ̀fọ́rí àtara ríro. Àwọ̀ funfun sì ni wọ́n fi kọ M&B paracetamol sí orí sáṣẹ̀tì pupa tí ń bẹ náà rẹ̀.
Dúró kó o ṣàyẹ̀wò fínífíní o, kó o rí i dájú wípé M&B paracetamol aláwọ̀ pupa ni wọ́n fún ọ. Ilé-iṣẹ́ M&B Nigeria PLC tí ń ṣe ojúlówó oògùn ní í ṣe M&B paracetamol. M&B paracetamol, ìrora ò lè dá ọ dúró.
Tí ìrora kò bá lọ lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ méjì, rí dókítà.
Splash FM 105.5.
All right, you're welcome back from that time out. It is still SportsBang right here on Splash 105.5, the Integral Station, the midweek edition of the show. And now we will be talking a whole lot about football, but just before we do that, we'll actually be touching down with some updates from tennis and a little bit as well from athletics. But in the meantime, good morning to all our online community. We deeply appreciate for always joining us right on our Facebook page, Splash FM 105.5 Ibadan. That's where we are streaming live on Facebook. You can actually catch me on Facebook, see me in the studio alongside Ferami, and of course our gentle friend with me in the studio, Boss Clef, who, by the way, has refused to actually tell us the club he supports, at least for now. But in the meantime, we deeply appreciate you. We can see you at the likes of Lukman, Oladimeji, Abiodun, Mustafa, Ismaila. Thank you as well for joining us on Facebook. In fact, we've got loads of comments already, but I'll be going back to them in a minute. Quickly from the world of tennis, yesterday, Emerald Kanu, remember, the 18-year-old that won the US Open just a couple of months ago, fought back at the Transylvania Open right in Romania, in our father's country, to win our first game since becoming the US Open champion, playing in our father's and homelands for the first time. Raducanu won 4-6, 7-5, 6-1 to move into the second round. Something that was quite touchy in that particular result is the fact that the stadium was actually close to fans, but because it was a special moment for our and also for our grandmother rather, she was the only fan allowed into that particular game, and she was able to see her granddaughter defeat a 30-year-old Akog in that particular one. Elsewhere in the world of athletics, a legendary Jamaican sprinter, Shelley Ann Fraser-Price, continues to defy our age and continues to defy the odds as well. She's currently 34 years old with a son that is 4 years old as well, but remember, she was actually at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games a couple of months ago, where she actually finished second in that part, I think in the 100-meter race. But in a recent interview, she's saying that she's actually looking for ways to, in fact, put all of this behind her and go for something that is sizably even higher and push ourselves to another level? Well, at the age of 34, you can always bet against her to do that. But alas, this is Shelley Ann Fraser-Price, somewhat the athletes rather with most medals right there in 100-meter race, both in men and women's category, having won 4 medals, and she was also the gold medalist right there in 2008 and 2012. So can she really turn out to be the oldest gold medalist right there in the history of the Olympic Games? Remains to be seen as she continues to push herself further. In the world of football, yesterday we had draws for the CAF Confederation Cup playoff round. And this time around, Ayobami and Rivers United were able to avoid one another. That wasn't the case last season at this particular stage. But good news, they won't have to face each other at this particular stage because Ayobami were actually drawn against a Libyan outfit Al Ittihad, while Rivers United were drawn against Al Masry of Egypt. And the first leg of this game will be coming up later on the 20th day of next month, while the return legs are slated for a week later. You can join us later this afternoon on Just Football to talk about this particular draw extensively and what are the chances of both Ayobami and Rivers United. But quickly, Fermi, let's move on to England, where yesterday we had results of EFL Cup, and quite interestingly, Arsenal look unstoppable at the moment. 7 games without a defeat on the trot in all competitions. They welcomed the Leeds United to the Emirates Stadium last night, and 2-0 victory ended for Mikel Arteta's men, progressing to the quarter-final stage. Meanwhile, simultaneously at the Stamford Bridge, Chelsea had a somewhat more difficult opponent in Southampton. They required penalty shootouts to eventually progress to the next round.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Arsenal is really doing something very great at this point in time. Like you rightly said, 7 games unbeaten in all competitions. They've actually won 5, drawn 2, and that's something really, really massive for, Mikel Arteta and the boys. Like I used to say, I mean, this is a good time for them, good for the confidence of the boys, especially for the manager as well, that, the pressure has actually reduced at this point in time. He can actually go on with his job gradually.
From put you on the spot, sorry. Yeah. You own a job. I mean, you own a club rather in England, and you have to hire just one of these 2 managers. Who would you put?
Who and who?
Mikel Arteta and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Come on, really?
No, I just want to know.
I own a club in England. Maybe in the 2nd division.
No,
right?
Top division, rather.
Top division. Yeah. I wouldn't hire any of them.
I'm asking you. You have just 2 options.
I have just 2 options.
Yeah. Or 3 rather.
Okay, probably I would put what's his name? Your manager. I mean, Arsenal's manager. I'm talking about as an interim.
That was probably meant for Bosco.
As an interim manager for the meantime.
But you know what? Let's link up with our partners at the BBC for the Premier League updates. And when we return,
talking about
several results.
That was probably meant for Bosco. As an interim manager for the meantime.
But you know what? Let's link up with our partners at the BBC for the Premier League updates. And when we return, several results.
Hello, I'm Jordan Elgott at the BBC Sports Centre. Arsenal are through to the quarter-finals of the EFL Cup after a 2-0 win against Leeds United. Second-half goals from substitutes Callum Chambers and former Leeds loanee Eddie Nketiah sealed the victory for the Gunners. Manager Mikel Arteta made 9 changes to his side after their win against Aston Villa on Friday, with the likes of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang rested and Mohamed El Neni and Nicola Pepe given starts.
These boys trained really well. They prepared themselves the best possible way. They've been humble enough to manage some situation where they haven't had a lot of minutes to play, but they still prepare at the top level. And I'm so delighted today for them, for the performances that they put individual and collectively, and the fact that we are in the next round. And they showed me today that I can trust them, so I'm delighted that we made that decision.
Elsewhere, there was heartbreak for Southampton. They drew 1-1 with Chelsea after Shea Adams cancelled out Kai Havertz's opener, but the Saints lost their penalty shootout 4-3. With Chelsea through to the last 8. Burnley manager Sean Dyche says a win in the EFL Cup against Tottenham on Wednesday could be the catalyst to sorting their Premier League form out. The Clarets are winless in the league so far, though performances have been improving in recent weeks, and they took a point at Southampton at the weekend. Staying in the Premier League will be their top priority, but Dyche hopes seeing off Spurs could help with that.
If you are talking without a result, just on the use of the game for what we've talked about, getting people really fit, getting them on the edge of Premier League and keeping them sharp to deliver in the Premier League, then it's helpful to play them games. But make no mistake of my words, we can talk like this, but at the end of the day, you want to win a game. We want to win the game.
That's the latest football news. For more from the BBC, go to bbc.com/football.
All right, you're welcome back from that time out with the BBC for the Premier League update. I'm quite sure you were able to catch a lowdown of what happened last night and maybe a sneak look into what could eventually happen later tonight in the EFL Cup. As we'll be having Burnley hosting Tottenham Hotspur at 7:45 p.m. In fact, all the games are slated for the same kickoff time.
Yeah.
Leicester City at the King Power Stadium will be hosting Brighton. Preston North End will be entertaining Liverpool. Brentford will be away at Stoke City, and West Ham United at the London Stadium will be entertaining Manchester City, who I think have actually won this tournament in the last 2 or 3 seasons consecutively. So that must have really been somewhat a game to look forward to later tonight. But in the Italian Serie A last night, Olivier Giroud's 4th goal of the season was able to prove decisive as AC Milan maintained their impressive start to the season with a 1-0 victory over Olaino's Torino. And that means AC Milan have won 9 of their 10 games this season.
I mean,
quite interesting, isn't it?
Quite amazing right there in the Italian Serie A for these guys. I mean, they are really doing it. At the beginning of the season, I didn't see them as probably a title contender, to be honest. But looking like, they're actually doing something really great. And if they can push on with this, who says they can rival Liponi at the top of the table at this point in time?
Don't let me puncture your hope right there about AC Milan, because I was about saying they were also the winter champions of the league last season. I mean, they were actually leaders up till January this year. And alas, they still couldn't. In fact, they struggled to qualify for the Champions League. So we rather wait to see how things fare for them, maybe till like February, March later next year. By the way, a bit of messages, just one message on Facebook. This one from Adeni Oyugunju saying, I'm a Red fan. We have all resurrected from 5-0. When will Alex Ferguson of Splash FM, I guess, come back? That's Tunde Olawu.
Yeah.
Don't you worry. Keep your fingers crossed. I'm quite sure he'll be back just before you know he was away. I'm quite sure about that. Another one, last one right here from Lamzi Top Shotter saying, hello to the winning team. Have a great show, guys. Well, we deeply appreciate you. But in the meantime, join us later this evening at 4:05 p.m. for another fantastic edition of Just Football. And I'm quite sure you would actually be yearning to reflect on results from last night and perhaps look forward to what could happen later tonight. Thank you very much, Feromi, for being a
my
part
regards
of
to
the show.
Faith when it comes around.
Well, you can always message him yourself.
No, I want you to give me that. Give him
All
that
right,
regards.
my name is Ayobami Animasahun. Have a winning Wednesday. I'm out of here. Bye.